Well, okay, welcome to Greenfoot Live. This is session number 5. I'm here with Amjad. My name is Davin. And, well, we're probably going to make a bit of a shambles of this because we're still getting used to controlling the camera, etc. But we're here to really talk to anyone that wants to talk to us about anything Greenfoot, I suppose. I guess in past sessions we've had a few questions come in while we were talking about various things, and we'd really like just to answer anything that anyone asks this time around. But we have a backup plan in case we don't get any questions, which is to go through the productions of a small scenario using the unbounded world feature in Greenfoot. That's something that I think a lot of people probably aren't all that familiar with. It's a slightly more advanced Greenfoot feature, but it allows you to have objects move outside the bounds of the world, so they can actually move off the world, but still be nominally in the world, if that makes any sense at all. And I guess what we should do is maybe just go ahead and start cooking up a scenario.
Yes, yeah. As David said, my name is Amjad, and this is the 5th session. We got some questions in the previous ones, and we prefer to answer them. So if you listening now to us, please ask us a question, and Davin will start now to show you the scenario that the feature that he talked about.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
All right, shall I take it? Well, we've got a scenario open here. What I'll do is just make a completely new one. So I'm using, of course, the latest version of Greenfoot. This is Greenfoot 3.10. It's been out for some time now. And I'll just make a new. Okay, sorry, I just moved our camera.
Yep.
Let's call this
reposition
a little bit.
Yep.
And let's make it called cars.
So you want to create a scenario where the object can leave the world.
Yeah, that's right. So
Okay.
so I'll start by talking a little bit about how people normally go about making. So what I'm planning is a fairly simple scenario where you have things coming down from the top of the screen.
Okay.
And you control an actor at the bottom of the screen that can move left and right to try and dodge the things that are coming down. Right?
Yeah.
So
Can we show them first how the normal case, and then show them?
yeah, that's exactly what I'm planning on doing. So shall we? Well, all right. I'll keep control of the keyboard for a little bit now.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's close that other one. Shall I also make this a little bit larger? Let's. Now doing there, I can. Okay. That's okay. So let's just leave the world that size at the moment. First thing I'll do is just make a player character. So let's pick a car of some description. Oh, and then it's sort of going. Let's go a green car, and then we'll just call that player. Not particularly imaginative, but it will do. Now I can create a new player and put them in the world. And then if I right click and save the world, that's put code in the world class for me to add that player into the world like that. Okay, but I want to be able to move left and right using the keys. So actually I'm going to open the player class. Okay, good. And inside the act method, we're going to do a simple if Greenfoot dot is key down left.
Could you please hide our camera just for the code to be apparent, or just move this one?
Just like that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
This will do.
Alright, yeah. So if Greenfoot is keyed down left, then I want to set location. Get x minus 2 y.
So for if someone doesn't know this, set location is just to is equivalent to move, but we want to move it to specific place. So he said get x and get y will give us the same location. So if you said set location and then get x, comma get y, it actually will just keep it in place. It's just subtracting 2 will move it to the steps,
2 cells, yeah.
2 cells to the left.
That's right, and similarly adding 2 to the x coordinate would move us 2 cells to the right. So
yeah.
Roughly speaking, if the left arrow is being pressed, then move to the left, and if the right arrow is being pressed, then move to the right. Okay, so I will go ahead and test that now.
If you press here.
Yeah. Let's just hit the run button, and I'll just use there we go. Arrow keys, move the car to the left and right. Just bump the speed up just a tiny bit too. Okay, that's a bit better. Right, so we have the beginnings. Now we're going to have other cars coming down from the top of the screen. So we'll make a new class for those. And
so you want the sky to rain cars?
Yes, exactly. Let's go with red. Red cars coming down.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and I'll just call it red car. I'm really not feeling very imaginative today, but that's fine. Okay, so red car and the red car. Oh, let's just open the code up first. Okay. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it just takes a couple seconds to actually open the editor. I'll keep that to the right. And with the red car, simply going to move down. So as you might have guessed from before, we can use set location to move, but this time we want to retain the same x coordinate.
Yeah. And this means it will move always to the down.
That's right, yeah, because it's not inside an if now, yeah, so it's completely unconditional. We're just going to move down by 2. I'll go ahead and just check if that works by, I can just put a car in the world. Well, I'll put a couple in, why not? And now if I run, there you go, they move down, and you see they hit the bottom and they just get stuck because the default state of Greenfoot is that it doesn't allow actors to leave the bounds of the world.
Okay.
Right? So this car, it's kind of half off. It's actually exactly half off because the coordinates of an actor specify the middle, the center of the actor, right? Yeah. So as soon as it gets to that point, it just can't go any further, and I can't drag it beyond that, and I can't. Similarly, if I go to the edge, it'll get to a point where it just won't go any further.
So if I play now, these will go down, and if I move this one, it's also.
Yeah, that's right. You get stuck at the halfway point. Yeah.
So we'll show them now today to make it unbound, so they can do Pac-Man or.
Well, what I want to do is show us for one thing. Okay, well, we're only halfway to an even complete game anyway. So what I'd like to do is get these red cars appearing at the top, randomly, more or less, and completely randomly, and disappearing when they get to the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
Right. So in the red car class, tell me, why do I have so much trouble actually opening it? Is Is our program slow?
I don't think so. Let's blame my computer.
Okay, all right. That sounds fair enough. Right, so we moved down, but if we are now at the bottom of the world, how do we check for that? Well, we can check if get y is equal to get world dot get heights minus 1, I believe. So roughly speaking, that means, well, okay, get world does what it says.
Yeah.
And get height gets the height of the world. And why do we subtract 1? Because y coordinates run from 0 to whatever, and if the world is, say, 600 pixels high, then those possible coordinates will range from 0 to 599.
Sure.
And because this is still a bounded world, then that's the maximum possible y coordinate that we can get to, right?
Yeah.
So
we almost sure that it will be equal when it touch.
Yeah,
just in case we put it bigger than as well.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that will come into effect when I change it to an unbounded world.
Because you ask the car to drop 2 pixels, 2 stairs each time. So it may reach bigger than it will not because it's bound, but just in case.
Yeah, it just expresses what we're trying to look for, really. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. We could put equals there and that with a double equal sign to compare for an exact equality. But anyway, if we reach that point, then we do get world remove object this.
And just to remind them that after we do this, remove object this, we are removing ourselves from the world as an actor. So we are not allowed to do anything, like any step or something.
That's right, yeah. So we couldn't do anything more with the car now once it's been removed. But I'm just noticing I'm just slightly off screen, but it's fine. Okay. All right. So if I go back now to the world and I put a red car in, and I click run, and it goes to the bottom, and we see. Okay. So what you'll notice is I'll just run that again a bit slower. So I'm going to turn the speed down just a little bit and run it. And what you notice, the car moves down very, very obviously now, and it gets to there. I'm just going to pause, and I'll click run again, and it will keep moving down. But what you'll see is that the moment that midpoint of the object gets to the boundary of the world, then the whole car just disappears. So I could just, I could act, and then we'll see it very obviously, actually. So there we go. All right, so that's sort of okay, but it's not all that nice if we're trying to make a game. It'd be much nicer if we could get the car to move all the way off the bottom of the world, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but just before we go to that point, let's also get the cars appearing at the top. So I'm going to do that in the world class. Right. So world classes can also have an act method, just like actors can, but they don't have one in the sort of template that we give them, or that Greenfoot gives them. So if I just add an act method in here, that will take effect just as it would if it was in an actor. So now whatever I write inside the act method gets run every round of the simulation. So okay, so what I want to do is check whether let's get a random number. What happens? Get random number with a limit of let's say 100. And right, yeah. So I have to actually compare it to something or whatever. Yeah. I can't say if a number. If that is, say, less than
how much percentage do you want?
Yeah, it's a percentage because we could. So let's go with 3 for now. We can always adjust that later.
So that means we have 0, 1, and 2. So only 3%. chance.
a 3% chance each time that a new red card will appear. And we have to actually make the, well, you could say add object new red car and some x coordinate, and we'll make it a random x coordinate. So random number. Now, how will I? Okay, I actually know that the world is 600 pixels wide because that's how we define it there. So I could just use that. If I wanted to do this properly, I'd probably, rather than hard code it, I'd probably actually get the world width, which is easy enough to do. In fact, it is easy. So let's do that. Let's say get width here. Oops. It just takes us off screen a little bit, but get width, okay, and we need a y coordinate too. We'll set it at 0 because that's the top of the world. All right.
So you are saying that the x coordinate of the car can appear in anything from 0 to get width -1, because get random number will give me will take this number, the second the parameter, and will return any integer from 0 just till this number, so just -1, not the number exactly.
That's right.
So it's safe for
well, yeah. In this case, it works perfectly because, of course, the x coordinates are exactly from 0 to the width of the world -1.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So that's perfect. Right. So now if I run this scenario, okay, there's cars coming down. They're not moving very. Oh yeah, that's right. I lowered the speed before, so I'm going to put it up a little bit. Okay, and we have at least sort of the beginnings of a game here. I think we probably want less cars appearing because that's quite a lot right now, but we can just adjust that number. I guess if we wanted to be perfectionists, we'd probably also make the red cars face the other way, so it didn't look like they were driving backwards.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We have a start now. Now the unbounded world issue. So if I open up the constructor again, sorry, if I open up the world class again, that's what I should have said. But you can see this is the world class constructor, and the first line is this fairly cryptic super call. What this does is actually calls the constructor from the super class, which is the world class. Now, the world class actually has two different constructors. There's this one, the standard one, which takes 3 parameters. It's the width, the height, and the cell size.
Okay.
Here we have a cell size of 1, which gives us nice sort of fluid movement. But there's
each cell is actually one pixel.
1 by 1 pixel. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But there's another parameter, and I can't remember if it has to be true or false for an unbounded world. But let's look at the documentation, shall I? So I'll get back to the main window. I'm going to go to the Greenfoot class documentation, and if we go to world, we can see that this is the constructor we want to call. It has the fourth parameter, which is Boolean, which means it's either true or false, and then it's called bounded. If I click on that, then it says bounded determines whether actors should be restricted to the world boundary. So actually, what I want is unbounded, so that should be false.
False.
Right? Yeah. Okay. So go back here.
The same window.
Wait.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's the same window that's.
It's already open. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There it is anyway. Yeah. All right. So I want that to be false. Now, if I run that right away, it won't make any difference actually, because two reasons. I guess it depends how you count, doesn't it? But we've written code so that the actors actually appear at 0, 0, so that they already appear and they're half on the screen. And then we've also written code so that checks if they get to that point there, then they can't go any further.
Yeah.
Actually, is that definitely working?
Just try act. Stop the condition maybe.
Yeah. So what I can do
Can see it.
actually is I go here and rather than check whether get y is greater than or equal to the world height -1, I can add in a bit of a sort of like a safety margin as such. So I'll just add 50. And now if I run and all right, let's watch these cars at the bottom here. If I act for the accurate, yeah, that's good. You can see that they actually move. And they keep moving, and they don't just disappear at some point. They actually just keep moving until they've moved all the way off. Well, so they're still there, but they're outside the visible boundary of the world.
And they will only vanish or be removed when they actually down, and because the height of the car is less than 50, so it doesn't disappear just halfway or quarter way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So. What else? Okay. Oh yeah. So we solved it partially now. So the cars will disappear smoothly off the bottom. But actually, if I keep clicking act, what we'll see eventually is that up near the top, and I just realized you can't see my finger, so there's no point pointing at the screen. Up the top of the world, eventually a new car will appear. Yeah, there we go. But it appeared halfway down already. So it's the same problem, but in reverse, really. To fix that, I have to go to where the car is actually created, which is back in the world class. So I'll go back there and okay. So we added the new red car at a random x coordinate and at a 0 y coordinate. Instead of 0, if we put -50, that's off the top of the screen.
Okay.
Okay.
So they will actually be created and be hidden for a while, and then will start appear pixel by pixel.
That's it, yeah. So let's try that. Okay, it's maybe a bit faster. It is working. Yep. There we go.
Yeah.
And I can move around and okay. I mean that's not bad. So the visual effect now is a lot nicer than it was when we had the bounded world when the cars would just disappear sort of halfway.
Yeah.
They don't look like they're just suddenly disappearing anymore. And it's a bit of a weird thing. Sometimes you don't even really notice it's happening, but you can just tell that something's not right. But now it looks a lot better. It looks a lot sort of smoother.
Yeah, and also you can use it for advanced things if you want to implement like games which actor goes from one side to other. It will be smoother exit. And also sometimes if you want to move a little bit the levels, maybe change the word or something.
Yeah, it sort of allows a lot more sort of arcade style games to be developed. Yeah, that's right.
Just if you allow me and remind everyone that we are in interactive session. So if you have any questions, can you see any questions?
Let's see. We've got 1 or 2 highs.
First question is hi.
Do we have reference on how many new red car objects are created?
That's a good question. Yeah, could I answer this?
Yeah.
So it's simply as you see in the code when Devin put in the act method of the word itself is adding an object here. So every time we have object being added, we can just increase the counter. This is the first way. Second way, I'll tell you a little. But simply, if you put here counter, which let's define in the word itself. So as a field, so I said counter equal to 0, and then here every time I will say counter equal to counter plus 1 plus plus 1, and this counter will now have how many cars being created, but this will have everything being created in the world. You have to subtract one every time.
By the way,
Yeah.
you'd want to actually put that inside the if
Yeah,
statement.
I'm sorry.
Or,
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now, it's actually just counting every single act cycle.
Exactly.
So if we wanted to count the number of cars,
yeah, after add object immediately here.
Right.
Yeah, and it's better to align it. Yeah, to the statement before. So just a small notice that you can change all this statement with a plus plus. It will be easier, straightforward. Some people don't know that, so it's good notice that if you want to increase a variable, just write plus plus next to it. In this way, the counter will have all the cars being added, even the one being removed, they still count. You may want, for example, in any time to know how many objects there are in the world. In this case, you can just say, for example, where do you want it? If for example, you want it in the green car, so the player or green car wants to do something or to show the how many objects there are, etc. So you can in any place, for example, you can say get world, and then you say dot get
By
object.
the way, and there's a few other people also noticed your mistake with where you placed the counter, by the way. You've got people watching you.
It's very hard to watch two screens at
okay.
the same time. Okay, so if we said good world, then world, they will pick this as well. Okay, then you said get and objects, and you just need to tell which objects you want, which class of objects you want to count. So if you said red car and the dot class, this will give you the number of objects from red class exactly now in the world before they've been removed after being added. So for example, if you said if you define x above, you can just say x equal to this or number, and it will give you the number of red cars now in the object. If you want to show it, because we always been asked how to show a score, etc., in the in the background of the world, we can just, if you go to the my world and in the act method, you can always say, for example, show text, and with what let's say cars numbers or number of cars,
Yep.
number of red cars, and then you put the same what we wrote before, but you don't need to say get world here because we are in the world itself. So just get objects will give me the number of objects here, and where do you want me to put it?
Let's go with 300, 200. That should be about the middle of the world.
Okay.
It's not the best place, maybe, but
yeah. So always we will see how much how many cars do you have.
Also, one other mistake actually. Yep. If you go back to that code, what you'll need is a space after the cars, because perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So if we run now.
Oh no!
Oh no! Sorry. No, sorry. Another mistake.
Do you know what happens?
Yes. So get objects will give me the list of the all objects. Dot size will show me how many of them.
Right.
Okay. So again, it's very bad to not prepare before
things.
This
is good. This is live
coding.
Yeah,
live coding. Yeah. Okay. So now we will have the number of red and show you how many cars are there in every instance. So now the cars are increasing 8 and then decreasing because some of them are leaving and entering. Is there any other questions?
Let's see. Oh yeah, you know what? People are really on the ball. Actually, they're picking up what's happening. So, so I had someone say, "Won't that be a list?" And and you need size. Okay. There's no actual questions though, which means what shall we do?
We just have 1 minute in what we promised, but we can extend a little bit or stop now. It's up to you if you have anything or if they ask us anything.
No, I think that's a good place to leave it. We sort of really showed what we wanted to show there, so that's quite good. We had an attentive audience, so very pleased that you guys joined us.
Yeah, and also remember that we will look at your comments on this video. This video will be available after we finish as recorded. You can rewatch it or add comments after if you want us to speak about specific topic next time. We always try to make it interactive, so we'll always answer your questions on the session. But if you give us before some questions, etc., we'll try to put them in the background rather than just we are by ourselves just selecting topics and say them.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.